Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. So, today is the 21st session, so it's already halftime, which is quite incredible. Um, so today we're going to talk about some so-called products which are misunderstood, which many believe that they are like normal and even healthy, and it's really in our culture that those would never question them, and those that question them are um, seen maybe as weird. Um, but those, as we will see, those products are have lots of issues with them. They are not really products, but we will discuss this. They are seen like as gift of nature, something that animals gives us for free and abundantly and with pleasure. But that is not the case, indeed. So so let's dive deep in this topic and see what it is about. So those products are maybe mainly milk and all its derivatives, like all the dairy products. So it can be like animal milk, cheese, butter, ghee, anything that is made out of basically milk, but only animal-based milk, of course. Then there are eggs, honey, which we believe is really like a gift, and then fish. We many believe fish are like plants. We can just take them out of the refrigerator of the ocean and consume them. So those four products are really quite big. And maybe one more that could be added are the insects nowadays. For some reason, some companies started to provide insects-based food, which is, I don't know what to say, just one more abuse. It's quite unbelievable. But so let's go. So milk. What is milk? Well, milk is for, and for whom, more importantly. Milk is for babies. Milk is not for adults. Milk is not for anyone who is weaned, and we are we wean when we stop having to consume milk. It's just after a couple of years after our birth, when we really do not need it anymore, and we are not supposed to drink it. After we've weaned, we are not supposed to drink any kind of milk, be it animal-based milk or humans, of course. But for some reason, humans consider milk as animals' milk as something wonderful. It is wonderful for the babies. It is wonderful, but it's like the milk is to nourish the mother's infant. That's the incredibly beautiful purpose, and it is true for all mammals, be it humans, cows or goats, and it is very milk specific, very specific species specific nutrition. So each like milk provided by a species is for the that species babies. And was created by evolution to be perfect for those for their youngs. And yeah, we need to be very aware that cows do not produce milk just out of the air. They need to be pregnant, they need to give birth, and only then they can provide milk for their calves. It's a very strong maternal bond between the mother and her baby, and it's really deeply personal. So it's like, well, milk comes when I mean after giving birth. So that's the purpose. I mean, that's logical. That's the purpose of the milk to provide for her baby, not otherwise. Not many people realize that. Like we all believe that milk is comes like cows provide milk for free, abundantly, and maybe humans didn't do them a favor um, to like pump out the milk out of them, and because otherwise maybe the cow would have issues. Uh, no, um, it's a complete upside down way of seeing things, but it is how it is believed to be through marketing, very strong marketing from the dairy industry for a long time. We often see like milk is is great for calcium and whatnot. But yeah, it is just marketing. We should go deep down into what it truly is, and is it good for our health? Even it is not. How could it be? The milk of a cow, for example, is to take like one small calf into a gigantic, very heavy weight cow in a very short period of time, and that's what we consume. How could it? How could that be good? Um, yeah. So somehow I don't know how we began to consume milk a long time ago. Um, for me, just it was a big mistake, but yeah, I don't know how one person suddenly decided um, to take the milk out of a cow and drink it. It doesn't make any sense. And the worst thing is that this person created probably like a company, like maybe like I don't know how long ago, maybe 10,000 years, and somehow it spread over cultures. So okay, maybe every culture had this idea, so-called idea, and then somehow it was believed to be a good thing. One needs also to know that in the past it was very different than nowadays. In the past, like there was not a lot of milk around. It was really consumed in like medicinal quantities, like very small quantities. I don't know, maybe once a month. I really don't know. But it was very small, and I think only for the rich mostly. The poor probably didn't have much. And yeah, and it was different. There was no artificial insemination. Maybe in the very, very, very past, when people were more did not eat meat, or like now, then maybe there was more respect for the cow. The babies could stay with their mother. The babies could have their mother's milk, and then only humans would take what remains. Yeah, reproduction was done in a like natural way between the cow and her bull partner. So it was a very different kind of way. Even that I do not believe that's a good thing. I mean, to take the milk out of a cow doesn't matter how. Even in the most ideal, like 100% ideal, there is no 100% ideal. It's like yeah, humans are exploiting those animals for something that is not supposed to be given to us. We're not supposed to drink cow's milk or any other animal's milk. But yeah, but nowadays this is absolutely atrocious. It became one of the biggest industries existing, but also one of the biggest abuse industry. But yeah, we will also discuss it a bit later. So yeah, so this is like the hidden reality, what is true, what is happening today, and probably also in the past. Maybe in different order. Nowadays it's a gigantic order. In the past it was smaller, of course. Still, it was probably quite big, even though it was not with today's technology. But yeah, today, mostly everywhere, doesn't matter where, um, even the places where cows are supposed to be loved and adored. This is the reality behind the facade. So there is, of course, repeated pregnancies. Cows are artificially inseminated year after year because, well, as we said, cows needs to be pregnant in order to provide milk. I mean, that's absolutely atrocious. Just the idea, how can anyone do that? How can this idea even come into one's mind and actually take it into action is unbelievable. And then there's also immediate separation between the mother and her baby. The baby is taken away from the mothers from her mother, and both of them cry for a long time, long time. And then the mother is again immediately artificially inseminated again. I mean, what is that? How can humans do that? How can any species do that? So, but humans have cognitive abilities. They can see what's happening and they know it's wrong, but they still do it. And it's very sad. And then there is also the fate of the males. So of course, when the mother cow or other animal, other mammals, not only cows, of course. Often we talk cow because it may be the biggest, most well known, but there are also other animals which are treated in similar kind of way. But yeah, what about the males? Because okay, there's either female or male. So the female will become a future milk giving product, milk giving machine, one could say, when she grows up. And then the males, what happened to them? Well, since they are unable to produce milks, they are often killed immediately or raised in isolation for what is called by the meat industry veal. So basically, when one buys veal at the butcher, that is baby male cows. babies. And so it's like it's basically just a business. Um, it's all about money, really. It's not about health, certainly not about health, certainly not about ethics. It's money above ethics, above health, and it's just and we buy it. We buy into this illusion and this absolutely horrendous industry. No other words for it. I am shocked by it, and I think you should too, honestly, and you should reflect on that. And you should not believe me just because I'm saying that. You should check it out by yourself. There are many documentaries that showcase this. I know they are hard to watch, but once it's good to watch them just to understand. One does not really need to, I mean, there are also soft documentaries where just they talk about it, but they do not show any images. It doesn't matter. Whatever one can watch, it's a good thing to sometimes open our eyes to reality. So the grief is real of the mothers, of course. How could it not be? They are not machines. They are not robots. They have feelings. They love their children. They want their children to be happy and to live close to them and to protect them. So what humans do to them is no other word than horrendous. But we are not aware of it. And even if we are, we sometimes, I would say, close our eyes and pretend we did not hear anything. But we should not. We should not close our eyes. It's important to keep them open and to know where the reality, where this milk comes from, where this cheese comes from. Cheese is not a wonderful like products. Cheese is just milk condensed. And there is also a lot of casein in it, in milk, which in the brain becomes casomorphins, which is kind of like a drug, like a small drug, which is why also we all crave for cheese, because of these feelings of the casomorphins. But we can nowadays replace it easily with vegan cheeses if we really crave for it. Even if we crave for it, if we know the reality, we should just avoid it. So easy. But nowadays, the cheeses of the vegan cheeses are quite amazing, and they also melt. They taste quite incredible, and they are cruelty-free. So I would say, why not? Why are all the pizzerias still offering animal-based milk? Some of them start to offer vegan cheeses, vegan pizzas, which is great, but there's still a small niche. Like if you look at their menu, it's like one vegan pizza, and then you have like 20 animal-based pizzas. Okay, one needs to start somewhere, I suppose. But still, we should reflect on that. And same with butter, same with ghee. So ghee is used a lot in, I think, Indian cuisine, but that's also come from dairy and should be avoided at all cost. It's very easy to avoid. So why not, I would say. So yeah, eggs now. Let's pass to eggs. Where do they come from? So eggs are hence basically reproductive output. That's what we are eating, unfertilized potential. And it's a very very hard things for the chicken, for the hen to provide. Our body go through a lot of biological effort to give out eggs. Yeah, and it's in like when we are in nature, they have they produce, they give out just maybe between 10 and 15 eggs per year. So just enough for their family, to like have a family for their family. Um, but nowadays they have been genetically engineered, and they give out, they produce about 300 eggs annually. That's a whole lot more, and their bodies are not made for it. So that's why they have a lot of cracked bones, and they cannot move. And basically, they are egg producing machine. That's what they become. That's what they became. And yeah, and those are not like, they do not give it for us to eat. They just is their unfertilized eggs, like any being. I mean, like females give uh, like monthly, but this is what we eat. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And chickens sometimes they eat their own eggs for calcium. I mean, for their own benefit, which we also take this away from them. Yeah, so chickens and they are not happy. They are such beautiful souls, but what we do to them is terrible and unjust. Yeah, in so-called hatcheries, so the little babies, um, I mean, they are sorted out on day one, and the males chicks, because they are not useful for the industry, they cannot lay eggs. What do? Well, they kill them. They like they how do you say it? Brow them. They drown them alive or suffocated in gases, and billions annually worldwide. Um, I mean, it's, I rest my case. Um, Not much to say. And then, yeah, the female ants, then they go in caged. And even the free range facilities, they also um, lay eggs until their bodies basically gives up, and then they go to slaughter just afterwards. And yeah, chickens live much longer than that. I don't know how long, maybe 10 years, 10, 15 years in normal nature, but we kill them very early. And yeah, that's only for the eggs, but there's also the chicken meat, which I think chickens are like artificially like grown, and they get after 42 days, something like that. They reach their full body. I mean, for the meat industry, but only because they are fed a lot and whatnot, and then they are killed almost immediately. So basically, we eat baby chickens. Um, yeah, so even when we think that we are eating like from so-called compassionate farms for eggs and chickens, that's not the reality. In the end, they will all end up as meat. At the end, we cannot change that reality. Beside being artificially, I mean, genetically engineered to provide so much more eggs than they can, than they should. So it's all basically a rotten industry. And even when we buy them for the home, so-called free, like home chickens. Yes. So what do we buy them? We buy them from hatcheries, which do those kind of things. So when we buy like a chicken from them, so we are supporting them to do all those kind of things. So eating, like killing the males and continue to abuse the females. That's a big issue. And yeah, I mean, especially I would say women should understand this deeply also. I mean, because women are, this is like an abuse of women reproductive organs and beings and species. We should support each other, humans and animals alike. Of course, not only women, but I mean, this is mostly a women abuse. And animal or not animals, it's the same. But we never think about it. We always eat our eggs or drink our milk, but we never think about the immense suffering behind that. And there are alternatives. There are wonderful alternatives. So it's not just that we need to do it. First, health-wise, it's really terrible for the health. Milk and eggs. They are not essential nutrients, not essential products for sure. We can replace them with plant-based milk, at least for, of course, not when one is baby. A baby needs her mother's milk, I mean human's mother's milk. But once we've weaned, then we can pass to plant-based milks for adults for sure. And nowadays there are so many plant-based milk to choose from, wonderful plant-based milk. Soya, almond, oats, any nuts. There are even nut making machines from, like for example, Nama. I don't have one, but I heard they are amazing. And yeah, and for any other product, there are also always replacement. What we eat them is only for convenience and habits. But also a lot of breads, they have eggs. They do not need to be added eggs. We can create like eggs substitute, like with flax seeds and water, for example, combine them. And there are other ways as well. So there are even companies that produce egg substitute, which are amazing. That taste like eggs, but they are not eggs. And there is a special spice, Indian spice. I forgot the name. I think it's Kala Namek, maybe, which basically smells like egg and I believe tastes like eggs. Very sulfur-like. So there's always alternative. All this, what I shown here is not really mandatory. It's complete our own choice. Unfortunately, it should not be a choice. I mean, it should not even be permitted, but it is permitted for some reason. For now, I hope this will change. There will be laws against it. But for now, this is permitted. So we need to make our personal choice, and a personal choice would be the most compassionate, kind choice. That is just to ditch all the animal products, including dairy and milk and honey. So bees are not producers. Bees do not make honey for us. They make it for their own colony, for their when it's for winter time. So they have food for themselves. And each bee is making so many go to and through the colony, like they visit like about 2,000 flowers daily. Can you believe it? They travel for miles and miles and store the nectar in the honey stomach, and then to return to the hive to process that harvest. And all the colony works together, and they each have their place, their job. We have also different jobs, so they also have different jobs. And main activities of bees, and so they pollinate all the flowers, which is very important for us as well. Um, and yeah, just 1 single pound of honey requires visiting 2 million flowers and visiting 55,000 miles collectively. Can you believe that? That's incredible. Just for a little bit of honey that we go and steal from them. So this honey is not a surplus. It's not like they create honey for us for free. No, it is their food. It is meant to them to sustain their colony. We have absolutely no rights to come and basically steal the honey from them. Doesn't matter if it tastes good, if it's even good for our health or whatever. Doesn't matter. We are committing a theft. And yes, and there are many other issues with that, because of course humans do some crazy stuff, and this is again just for basically money. It's a money issue, and okay, people like honey, but it's but if how can one do such things? Doesn't matter how much it tastes good, how it's even good for health. There are a lot of alternatives, and what we do to them also, this is what shocked me first when I heard about it, is that they cut the wings of the queen. Maybe not all of the beekeepers, but at least some, if not many, if not most, so that the queen will not escape. Otherwise, because in nature, her instinct is to establish new colonies elsewhere. But that's not good for beekeeping, because they want to keep bees at their bay. So they will cut her wings, just like cutting somebody's legs so that they do not escape. That's exactly the same. I mean, that's like a horror movie. And then they are like also artificially inseminated. Yes, so basically like cows. You can watch Ed Winter's video, why vegans don't eat honey, and then it shows more precisely what exactly happening, all those issues he presents quite clearly. There's also another video, why vegans don't eat backyard eggs, which also a good watch from Ed Winters on his channel, Earthling Ed. I think those are two of the recommended videos that I added recently. And then also for bees, it's also there's the transports, because people are like buying bees for their own beekeeping. So those bees are transported in different places, like FedEx. Yeah, they have extreme strengths. They are like sensitive beings. They are not robots. Yeah, bees are wild beings. They are like sovereign beings. They have remarkable intelligence. So they have different way of communicating, maybe a bit different than what we are used to do, but that doesn't mean they do not communicate. And so they are not like tiny machines designed for our convenience, for our to produce milk for us. They are supremely important for nature, for pollinating. We might not have fruits without them and without other pollinators. So what we do to them is will come back to us. If we help them, they will help us. If we create issues for them, um, well, I mean, they will not create issues for us per se, but it's the fact that we are destroying their habitat and we are killing them through pesticides and whatnot, that we will have a crisis. We are already in crisis. And then we have fish. So fish are not plants. Fish are conscious, fully cognitive being. They have pain receptors, of course. They do not. It's not like a plant where we can pluck it out of the ocean and then eat it. They have mothers. They have parents. They form bonds between them, between their colonies. They have social hierarchies. They cooperate with each other. They are intelligent beings. So what we do to those wonderful beings is we basically destroy them just for our own benefit, our own. I don't know why we do it. We don't even need it. We don't even need to eat fish, but for some reasons, maybe historical, I don't know, people started to eat fish. And besides, we cannot really eat meat or fish like that. We need to cook them. So it's only the cooking process that permits us to eat. So we know that those are not natural food for us. It's not like we crave raw fish. Maybe some do eat raw fish, but okay. Probably not most people. Um, so the cooking process basically changes the constituent of their fish bodies, and then we can consume them. But it's not natural, and we are destroying not only the fish but also their habitat and so many bycatch, so-called bycatch of the dolphins, whales, turtles, sharks that we catch and kill, not on purpose, but because we catch so many fishes. There are so many gigantic nets. And then those nets, even a further issue is that they stay in the ocean very often, like forgotten by the fisheries, or they just cannot take them back. And then that creates a further issue with a lot of plastic. So most of the plastic in the oceans comes from discarded fish nets, and it kills so many beings, so many fishes, so many ocean creatures by entangling them in those nets. So it's another horrendous industry. There's nothing romantic about it, like going fishing. It's just terrible. Like I was not long ago on a site where one can buy things, like one receive some credits and one can buy things. And then I saw one of the categories was hunting and fishing, and and it was in the leisure section. Needless to say, I closed immediately the browser. I was quite disgusted. How can hunting and fishing be seen as leisure? It's basically killing an innocent being for nothing. So industrial fishing is devastating, as we said, and fish farming is not better. It creates so much pollution also, and sicknesses. The fish are getting completely sick in those fish farms, so-called fish farms, and diseases spread very rapidly there. There's parasites and whatnot. So both industrial fishing and fish farming are not the solution. What is the solution? To eat plant-based, to eat vegan. That's the solution, and it's so easy. So those are the alternatives that we have. So first we have plant milks. So many of them. They are so wonderful. Sometimes I use one or the other. I like coconut very much. And the others like soy and oats are maybe more like neutral in taste. But often they are added, like vanilla is added to them, or also vitamin B12, which is very good, of course. And they create abundant lattes, creamy lattes. So maybe when we go next time to like the restaurant chains, we can request them to not to drink the animal milk, cow's milk, but please give us, usually it's oat milk there. Then there are also natural sweetness, like that resemble honey, like maple syrup, which is amazing. Dates, which can be made into so many desserts, and also there's dates based. There's also fruit concentrates, like sweets without stealing from the bees. So let the bees live their life, and let we live our own life. And there are many protein alternatives, really. There's tofu, there's tempeh, seitan, legumes, quinoa. Again, very easy without the cruelty of the animal industry. And there are also omega sources, like great omega sources, like flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and algae are very good. So, and there are ocean-friendly nutrition, and also nori is very, very good for our health. To eat nori even every day, like 1 or 2 sheets of nori, or 2 or 3. I believe Dr. Michael Greger, that's what he's consuming for some ingredients that is important. But yes, there are very easy way to replace all the animal agriculture products are very easy to replace. Just need a little bit of research. Make sure that one gets the right nutrition, enough nutrition to eat enough. And yeah, protein is not an issue. Calcium one gets from basically everywhere, from the plants, a lot of them, from like spinach and maybe kale, or the greens. One gets, I believe, fair amount of calcium. And and to be sure, one can make like every year a blood analysis, and then one is not one is like the mind is calm, because one sees that one eats the right things, and the blood levels are good, all the vitamins, all the minerals, everything is there. Then one can feel confident that it is that all is going well. So as it says, so kindness is the truest nourishment. for all, for animals, oceans, earth, and our hearts. So everything that we do, everything that we eat has a big ripple effect. So we don't need perfection. We can start small if that is too hard to go all the way. Just stop them like one by one. Maybe first stop the milk, then stop eggs, then stop fish, then cheese maybe, and then butter, ghee, and finally one is plant-based without even noticing it. I would say not to take too long. I mean, some take many years. Maybe that's a bit too long. I mean, it's better many years than never, of course. Better sometimes than never. But it shouldn't take many years. If one already knows that one should not consume those products, then one can switch fairly rapidly. And through, for example, Veganuary, like again, I promote the Veganuary challenge, which is a 31 days being vegan for 31 days and see how it goes. And they provide support, they provide booklets, recipes, emails to support us. And they have also a group, I believe, maybe Facebook group to support for any questions. So they are an amazing organization that helps. They are not the only ones, of course. There are many like 30 or 31 days challenges, like plant-based or vegan challenges around, also with recipes and all. So one can just choose what one, how one wants to do it, and then just go for it. Just need a bit of willpower, motivation, and action. Nothing can be done without action. It's good to be motivated and to have willpower, but without action, it leads nowhere. So some actions, maybe even replacing just one. If one eats meat maybe twice a day, maybe eat just once a day. If one consumes eggs, maybe every morning, maybe once a week. And same with milk or honey. Just reduce it drastically. And eventually just remove it completely. Again, it shouldn't take that long. Some people just go vegan overnight. Some take a bit longer, that's okay, but we should not take too long. Once we know we should, then we should make like a plan. Maybe this month I will do that, next month I will do that, and maybe in the third month I will try to be fully plant-based. But and then I give myself some leeway, maybe for one more month, and then I'm fully in. Yeah, it shouldn't be complicated. One can make commitments. It's more commitments to oneself and to the planet and to the animals. And most important is to be educated. So to watch documentaries. Documentaries are very, very, very helpful. That is something that we did not have in the past. So in the past, like maybe 100 years ago, why we did not have those documentaries. What to speak of 200 or 300 years ago, there was no television. So that's why people couldn't know all those facts. It was much harder to know this. Still, some people weren't vegetarians or vegans at that time, but it was much harder for like common people to really know what's happening in farms. So there was like then a real excuse. But nowadays there is no more such excuse possible. Documentaries are everywhere. They show the truth as it is, and it's not an illusion. It's not a fake documentaries. And I would really encourage everyone to watch the documentary every day, or maybe every week, maybe in the weekend, watch 1 or 2 documentaries about this. So many, like some of the best are Cowspiracy. And yeah, actually, yeah, there are quite many others. Cowspiracy is the one that comes to mind. I think it's one of the most one that is believed to open most people's eyes quite and hearts quite rapidly. But there are others which are, and Cowspiracy is for everyone. Everyone can watch it. There's nothing really hard to see, maybe except one place. And there's others for different aspects, like Game Changers for the sports aspect. And there's Forks Over Knives for the health aspect. Cowspiracy is more for the environmental aspect, and there's Seaspiracy for the ocean aspect. There's even Christspiracy for the religious or spiritual aspect. And they're all amazing documentaries. So there's one that has them, most of them, which is Veg Movies, VEGMOVIES .com. I mean, I link it in my on my channel, in my description of the channel. You can link it in almost all my videos. It's a wonderful site, and there's also another site, Vegan Linked, which is wonderful, which includes incredibly well-made interviews by a wonderful soul, wonderful person who dedicate his life to this cause. It's quite amazing. And yeah, his interviews are like professionally television-like made. And he interviews doctors, athletes, environmentalists, like many different people. And yeah, they are very enlightening and very interesting. So I would encourage everyone to go watch some interviews there in for Vegan Linked. And yeah, there's also Unchained TV, which is amazing, created by Jane Velez. Like she was, I believe, a journalist, and then she became a really strong animal rights activist. And this site is an amazing site with like it's a television based on kindness and compassion. It's a plant-based vegan television, basically. It's on its own site called UnchainedTV.com. It's also linked in my description. And yeah, I would encourage everyone to go have a look. And of course, there are many other wonderful sites. So yeah, so this is it. And maybe I could have also talked about the insects. Nowadays, it's something new, it seems. Relatively new for humans, that we started to consume insects. Even in like chocolate bars and things like that. I mean, I'm shocked when I saw that in my bio shop where I go to every week. Suddenly I see, I think it's crickets. They gather, I don't know how many, but it must be like millions of crickets, and I suppose they crush them. I suppose they think they are just food. They do not have any feelings or anything, but actually crickets, yeah, all the insects are very intelligent. They are very important. They do not want to be crushed. They do not want to be eaten. And yeah, they have pain receptors. So to do that to them is terrible. And it seems that's the new new trend. I hope this trend will definitely stop, because humans just try to find like some kind of magical pill or magical thing for protein. Like I think they think that's a very good source of protein, but it's very misplaced, because plants already have protein. We don't need insects. We don't need animals' flesh. We don't need their secretion. We don't need honey. We don't need honey. We just need so many plant-based choice. We don't need to look anywhere else. This is more like from probably a brain of entrepreneur that wanted to create something new, something maybe exciting for them, that maybe people would be attracted to, and maybe make them rich. I don't know. Usually it's about money. And then just found a new niche for abuse, for torture of innocent creatures. Instead of that, why not create a vegan, like a vegan McDonald's? That would be awesome. That's what I thought I would do if I had like a lot of money, which I don't. But yeah, there are already some which make those kind of vegan McDonald's. Like I think one is in the United States called Mr. Charlie, I believe. It's an amazing restaurant chain that is fully vegan and that also supports local communities and even people who have trouble finding jobs, so they help them. So that's a wonderful, wonderful organization, wonderful restaurants chain, and I think they are not the only ones, but that's the one that comes to mind. In Mr. Charlie, I hope they will expand all over the world, and I hope maybe McDonald's will go vegan one day, and also Quick and on those Pizza Huts and on those. I hope they will all go vegan, maybe fully vegan, maybe in transition, but that would be awesome. I think the world is going in that direction, but we are still not there. I hope in just a couple of years that the world will turn around and see their ways, maybe see a mirror of what they do, and then they will that we will change our hearts and our minds, our habits, our traditions. Many traditions are very cruel, but because they are traditions, we just follow them blindly. In all religions, there are quite terrible traditions. And yeah, let's pray for a more compassionate and kind world for ourselves, for our children, for all the animals, for all the inhabitants on this planet, for believing that we are not the strongest, not the most important species on this planet. We are just one species among millions, and we should respect this world, all the species in it. We should help them. I do like to think of ourselves as helpers, not destroyers, as species that is supposed at least to be kings and queens on these planets, in the good sense of the term. We should have like really become servants in a way to this world, like humble servants to all species, because we do have, of course, a very strong cognitive abilities, so we can use our those abilities for good, for creating wonderful places for all animals and helping them in all way we can. For example, we have like animals hospitals. We already have them. but they do not receive a lot of subsidies, unfortunately. But if we had more kind and compassionate society, then they would be everywhere, like a hospital for animals, and maybe hospitals for all beings. Like that would be quite fun or quite interesting to have, like a hospital where all beings are treated. Doesn't matter if one is humans or a cow or a pig or a bird. Everyone would be treated in the same place. So same for emergencies. Emergencies would be for all species. And then maybe the medical profession would merge with the veterinarian industry, not industry, but associations. And there would be no more separation between the two. So basically, a medical professional could cure humans and animals alike. Just throwing that idea around, who knows? Maybe it will catch somebody's imagination and start to work on it. Because I think that's the future, where really medical professionals are there to help all beings and really not see any distinction between any being. Of course, there can be specialities because humans have specific biology and the animals also have. But in some sense, they are very similar. We are all quite similar. We all have like a stomach and a mouth to eat and eyes to watch, even though some have more than two eyes. That's beautiful. That's the diversity of nature. So, thank you. And yeah, I think that was the last slide. Yes. So, thank you. If you listen until then, you are very patient with me. Um, so, let's go to our daily practice. Okay. So let's do our usual daily practice. Start with a prayer. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will show gratitude for my many blessings. Just for today, I will be kind to all living beings. May today be a joyful, peaceful, blissful, and magical day. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, all humans, all animals. And finally, peace to ourselves, to our own mind. Om. Let's go now to our gratitude session of the morning. So we are grateful for anything that comes to mind. Be it physical, be it beings or material, doesn't matter. So let's do that. Okay, so now let's move to the physical exercise. So the very simple one is we do every morning. Please be free to adapt it. Feel free to do as what you prefer. This is what I I do now, but you can do anything else like Surya Namaskar or any other kind of exercises. The idea is just to warm up the body a bit and to unloosen the joints in order so that our meditation will be more fruitful. So we start with, like usually, with the Sufi rolls. Just inhale, forward, chest come forward, and then exhale, going back, rounding. So inhale, exhale. The other way. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, turn to one side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn a bit more. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale the other side. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, turn a bit more. Inhale, come back to center. Like one hand on the mat. Inhale and just exhale, fold to one side. Then inhale back up and exhale the other side. Come back to center. Now the big bear. So inhale, round the chest, to the opposite, and exhale, round it forward. And come back to center. This is basically the cat cow in yoga. Very, very similar, except it's just done in a different position. Then hands on the shoulders and just inhale up, exhale back. The other way. Now make some circles with the wrists and hands. Then open them and close them rapidly. And then extend the legs and just stretch them. You can grab one leg and then turn to that side. And the other leg. And come back to center. Put your legs in diamond shape, like that. And just fold forward very slowly. Do not push. Start an active position is passive. Let gravity do its thing. And slowly come back. So this is a very simple routine that one can adapt to one's own wishes. Um, for me, that is enough. Um, and basically, that's the whole idea of asanas, is to unloosen the joints a bit, and then so that we can sit in meditation for a longer time and for in a more stable and comfortable position. That's all. That's basically the purpose of it. Of course, there are many variations, and it's okay to do some hard exercises. It's perfectly okay. It's even can be good for the health. But it doesn't need to be very long. Maybe 10-15 minutes. I can be quite sweating already, and then one would like feel very relaxed, which is exactly what we want. So yeah, feel free to adapt it. What I propose is like a blueprint of a practice, and then adapt it to your own. Be creative. Maybe not too much, too creative, but that's a usual way of like one's practice. So first starting with a prayer, then gratitude, then physical exercise, then we do relaxation. So that's what we do now. So in the past 20 sessions, we did the 31 points relaxation, which is great. Normally, one should do that until one really master it, or at least like really tries to start to feel its effects, or that one can really focus better. But then now we will move to the 61 points of relaxation, which is basically an extension of the 31 points. It's very similar. What we do with the hands, basically we do with the legs. It is same thing, same locations, one could say. So yeah, the 61 points is quite well known. It's a very good sequence. It's called Shavyatra. So the corpse journey compared to Shavasana, which is more the corpse pose. And yeah, one can use it as relaxation or pranayama. It's kind of both. And one should really focus on those points very, very well until one really feels as if one is completely at those points. It's really one should focus very well. So it's also a focus training. So we'll do it twice. One time we'll do it together, all of us together, and the second time you will do it on your own. So try to remember the sequence. We will do it now in future sessions, so and you can review this one anyway. But yeah, so let's do it. So you can do it either sitting down or lying down, or sitting up or lying down. Lying down is perfectly fine for this practice, like lying down in Shavasana, basically. Relax your shoulders. Relax the back of the head, top of the head. Relax your face, your mouth and tongue, chin, jaw. Relax your throat, arms, legs, navel. Relax your back. Relax your hands and arms. Take a couple of deep breaths. And now let's start the practice. So bring your entire attention to the space between the eyebrows, to the pit of the throat, the right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, tip of the right thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, pit of the throat, left shoulder, left elbow, left wrist, tip of the left thumb, tip of the index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Back to the left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, pit of the throat, the middle of the chest, the right chest, middle of the chest, the left chest, middle of the chest, the navel, lower abdomen, the right hip joint, right knee, right ankle, tip of the right big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back to the right ankle, right knee, right hip joint, lower abdomen, left hip joint, left knee, left ankle, tip of the left big toe, tip of the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back to the left ankle, left knee, left hip joint, lower abdomen, navel, the center of the chest, the pit of the throat, and the space between the eyebrows. And relax. So this is the 61 points of relaxation. So let's do it each person on his or her own, and we'll meet in about 2-3 minutes. And slowly open your eyes. So this concludes our relaxation practice. So, okay, before going to the pranayama, let's take 5 minutes break. So it's important when you sit down to feel as comfortable as possible. So please use any props that you need, like put cushions under your knees, especially. That's very helpful. If you need to sit on a chair, please sit on a chair. It does feel comfortable. So let's pass to the pranayama. So we will start with again 4-4 like yesterday. Meaning we inhale for 4 seconds, we exhale for 4 seconds, and always keeping the qualities intact. So so no noise, minimal noise, unless we have, of course, issues breathing or with natural noises, then that's okay. And we try to make it, well, we breathe only from the nose and out of from the nose. As always, the nose is for breathing, the mouth is for talking and speaking, and emergency breathing. And then try to avoid pauses between inhalation, exhalation, and exhalation, inhalation. And try to breathe diaphragmatically. So really relax your shoulders fully. Really feel them relaxed, and then try to breathe lower, like in the abdomen. Like feel the belly expand instead of the chest. And that is very helpful to feel more calm and peaceful. So to kick in the parasympathetic nervous system rather than the sympathetic nervous system. Yeah, so let's do that for a couple of minutes. So 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. And that's all. And slowly open your eyes. So now we move to the X 2x seconds. So breathe in for X seconds, breathe out for 2x seconds. So we're going to go a bit further and going with breathe in for 4 seconds and out for 8 seconds. This may not be for everyone. If you that's too much, then go back to 3-6 or even to 2-4. I believe this should be okay for pregnant women, but of course, please feel what your body needs. And yeah, if you are pregnant, of course you should always be super careful about anything that you do, especially pranayama in yoga. You should never retain any breath, no retention, no pauses. During the exercises, one should never retain when one is pregnant. By retaining, imagine you inhaling 4, then retain for 4, then exhale for 4, retain for 4, so on, etc. This should never be done. Of course, there are exercises that, of course, should not be done, like Kapalbhati and Bastrika, etc. But this 4-8 should be safe for all. But there should also not be any pauses in this practice. But yeah, you know your own body, so this practice accordingly. So let's do that. So breathe in for 4 seconds and out for 8 seconds. And again, if that's too much, please go back to 3-6 or 2-4. Let's start now. and slowly open your eyes. So this should feel very relaxing. Like this is very relaxing to the nervous system. So it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So the one that is responsible for rest and enjoy. Contrary to the sympathetic nervous system, which is more fight or flight, which a lot of us are in that state, especially with work. A lot of us are stressed from work or from family life. So we need to calm down a little bit. So that's why it's a good idea to practice those exercises. Because meditation is also about relaxation. So it's a big part of actually meditation, that we need to be really very, very, very relaxed. That's why there's so much preparations, so many exercises just to do that. So let's pass to the next practice. So we will introduce the third type of the Nadi Shodhanam, or the alternate nostril breathing. So we already saw the first one in the first 10 sessions, the second one in the 10 after sessions. Now we pass to the third one. So the third one is, again, it's always very simple. Again, with the Vishnu Mudra, what we do is, again, we block one side, and then we do exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. So we stay much longer on one nostril, basically. And that's one round. And then the second round, we would start the same thing, but from the other nostril. And the third one, same thing, but again with the first nostril. So let's do one round together. And then you will do 3 rounds on your own. So inhale, exhale, inhale to start. Block right, exhale from left. Inhale from left. Exhale from left. Inhale from left. Exhale from left. Inhale from left. Switch, exhale from right. Inhale right. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale right. Inhale right. And relax. So that was one round. So between rounds we can do some just some relaxing, maybe 10-15 seconds of relaxing, and then we go to the next round. So we will each do 3 rounds on our own with the third type. So you do not have to follow me in any way, just do it at your own pace, neither too slow nor too fast. And see you afterwards. and slowly open your eyes. So this practice should again be done without a process. Diaphragmatically, relaxed body, trying to make it as as silent as possible. And of course, one side will be more closed than the other, but usually we can breathe through it. If it's not, then just stop. So that was Danti Shodhana. Let's go to our next practice, which is Brahmari. So where we make a sound with our closed mouth, and like we breathe in, then we say Use your own tone. You do not have to follow me. And we're going to do it for a couple of minutes. So inhale fully, then just make a noise, a sound. And relax. So this should theoretically make us feel more peaceful and calm, which is the whole purpose of it all. And now we move to the self-dialogue aspect. Again, I repeat myself because I'm not sure who exactly is listening, if you listen to previous sessions or not, so I'm just going to repeat a little bit, not too much. So self-dialogue is when we talk to ourselves in a positive way, always. Often we have negative self-talk with ourselves, and we try to avoid that in this practice. We really talk in a joyful, happy, peaceful, blissful way to our own mind. There are many different types of dialogue that we could have. Like some big ones are prayers, either pre-made or your own, from your own heart. Then there is gratitude dialogue. That's a wonderful kind of dialogue. Then there is affirmations dialogue. Then one could also have the metta meditation, where we, again, I talked a little bit earlier, but in the past. So it's a meditation based on like spreading thoughts of peace and love and compassion, kindness to all beings, not only humans. Usually it is in the human sense that we see it, but it's not only the case. So we say like, may all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may they all live long and prosper, like the Vulcan um, credo. Yes, may all living beings, animals and humans and trees and nature, may all be happy and peaceful. And then we pass to like a more human side. We pray to all those that we care about, like family members, friends, best friends, co-workers, colleagues. Then second, we pray for all those that are neutral, that we don't have kind of no relation almost. For example, the cashiers at the supermarkets, people we see randomly in the street, in buses, metros, trains. We do not really know them, but we wish them well. And finally, we wish well for all those that that are difficult to us, that we have difficult time with, relation-wise. Doesn't necessarily mean big enemies, but could be. Just wish them all to be happy. Why? Because we recognize that all beings ultimately are one. The issues that we have are temporary, and usually they are situation-based. People who could be mortal enemies in other circumstances could be best friends. So we take this in account, and in a way that we pray for them to be happy, because also if they are happy in their life, then they will not bother us. So if everybody is peaceful, then there is no reason to cause suffering to other people. That's why we pray to all those that we care about, those that are neutral, and those that are more difficult. And that is a dialogue, self-dialogue kind of meditation, contemplation. In Buddhism, it's called metta meditation. It's quite well known, the loving kindness meditation. You can look it up on the web, find some good YouTube videos. You can follow along with somebody, because there's like could be like specific texts to say, not necessarily, but good. And then after that, one can also do a contemplation on higher truths, like who am I not, in a positive sense, of course, trying to think, who is this body of mine, who is this awareness, who is this mind, what are we? Are we really this body, or are we something more? This body is extremely important and precious, but maybe we are also something more than this. So we try to kind of ponder upon it, reflect upon it, about this concept of who am I? And then the opposite is who am I not, which is kind of helpful to think about. I am not this, I'm not that. I am not my profession, I am not even my gender. This is just something that I kind of acquire when coming into this world. By having a body, then I acquire many different qualities, different professions, different states, like maybe money. If I have a lot of money, or I don't have, then I can identify myself as being rich or poor. That's also an identification. But really, ultimately, we are neither rich nor poor. So reflect on that, on the importance of the physical body, how important it is to take good care of it. So that is contemplation. Then there's self-counseling, where we counsel ourselves, like, what do I want in life? What are my aspirations, my deepest wishes, positive deepest wishes? What is my really, my oomph, what drives me, what drives everyone? It could be anything, maybe some big I think that one thinks about, like, making peace in this world. That's a beautiful aspiration. Or like taking good care of one's family. That's a wonderful aspiration. Learning some new things, some new maybe hobby. Anything goes, as long as it is positive for us and for others. Then there are some who have spiritual like aspirations, maybe to become self-realized. Understand what does that mean exactly. I mean, we cannot really know until we become that, but at least we can have some ideas. And also, then how can we get to those states? And then we can arrive to the fact that one of the most important step is to develop virtues in ourselves, to diminish anger, jealousy, envy. Those are obstacles on the path. Not only spirituality, of course, but in relationships. We all know that. We try to be more virtuous, more calm, more loving, kind to all beings, not hurt any being. That's a big thing. In mind, words, or thoughts. So, like, no gossip. Gossip is a terrible thing. Often we talk or we hear about other people's bad behaviors, or and then we we have this tendency of gossiping about people, but that is not very helpful to no one, and it is quite harmful to not only to the people we talk about, because that can spread bad ideas around, which is very bad, and to also to ourselves. So we have to know that if we gossip, there's good chances someone is gossiping on us. And then finally, there is this concept of friendliness with mind, to be friendly with our own mind, to talk kindly and compassionately, and to have like a cool discussion, as if we talk to our best friend. And we can talk anything. So those are like I would say, the main categories of dialogue. There could be more. So you choose one, and then we make this practice now for 12 minutes. We talk with ourselves in our mind, of course, not out loud. We could talk out loud if we are alone, if we don't have a partner around us. Otherwise, we will bother them sleeping. But usually it's in our own mind. and we can do it anywhere, of course. So let's do that for 12 minutes. I will ring the bell to start and ring the bell to end. So that concludes the contemplation part. So let's take now before meditation, let's take 5 minutes break. So let's start our meditation session. So we're going to do like yesterday. Similarly, we're going to do 3, 4, 6, 9, and possibly 12 minutes. So we're going to do again. We try to be. We practice what is called Kaya Shteriam in meditation in yoga. Means Kaya means body. Shteriya means stability, non-moveness. We try to be as stable and not moving as possible for many reasons. To stabilize the mind, for one. Some people have trouble with that, but one can start small, like we do now, 3 minutes. Just try to be stable for 3 minutes. And then comfortable. So again, put cushions under your knees or sit on a comfortable cushion or sit on a chair. And then all we do is watch the breath at the nostrils. So whatever we feel, like we will feel some sensations in the nostrils, we focus on that, or on the cold and hot air coming in and out, or on the breath on the lips, upper lips especially. And we try, whenever thoughts come, we mindfully bring our attention back to our sensation of the breath. Basically, that's the idea. So we try not to follow our thoughts. Whatever thoughts come, let them come. I know it's not easy, but we just try to not focus on them, see them like clouds. And initially, one can count the breath 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to 1. Whenever we inhale, exhale, we count 1, then again 2, 3, and so on. We can also think in and out when we breathe in, when we breathe out. And if we have some thoughts and we cannot stop them, then it's good to label them in some way. So one good way is thinking. So the word thinking, which in a way brings us back to acknowledge the thoughts and then bring us back to our object of concentration. So that's the idea. So let's try that for 3 minutes now. I will always ring a bell to start and ring the bell at the end. Start now. Now relax a little bit for 30 seconds to a minute. And then we do 4 minutes. Okay, let's start 4 minutes. So relax a bit and get ready for the 6 minutes. Know that we should just be aware of the breath. We do not control it, very important. It's not like before where we inhale, exhale for 4 seconds in and out. That's not what we do here. We just watch it If it's fast, it's fast. If it's slow, it's slow. We don't interact with it. All we do is being aware of it happening and looking at it. Yeah. So let's go for 6 minutes. So relax a bit and we move on to the 9 minute zone. So 9 minutes, it starts to be a bit lengthy. It's like enough time to really start to settle down. It's also a great opportunity for our mind to wander. So we gently always bring our mind back. In a way, we should see how fast do we really need to bring our minds back from whatever we were thinking. And yeah, the faster we bring our mind back to our breath, the better it is from a meditation point of view. So let's do that. 9 minutes now. And now prepare for the final meditation of the day, of the morning at least, for 12 minutes. So stretch your legs, do whatever is necessary, and we start in about a minute. So when we do like long meditation like that, it's important to do relatively stable, and one can do the body scan from feet to head, like we did in the uh, first sessions. Like I guided the Kaefterium, an easy version, just to like scan the lower bodies until the top, and any tense one, just relax it. And like imagining that we are a tree with roots going into the ground is quite helpful. So, so let's do this. So, 12 minutes. Do your best. If you cannot, it's okay. So this concludes our session for today. So to recap today, in the presentation, I discussed about some so-called common quotation mark products that we use in our daily life, like milk, eggs, honey, and fish, that many believe to be even clean and okay, but reality is very different, and all of them are born out of very bad things, and we should study why. And so in the presentation, I gave some of the aspects. You can go and watch it if you haven't, or watch the document, like the videos from Eddie Winters, like why do vegans do not eat backyard eggs, or do not eat honey or milk, or fish, of course, and also do not eat insects. That's a new trend. Unfortunately, it seems to start. It's a very bad trend. I hope it will not last long. But yeah, so this is the discussion of this morning. And otherwise we did the usual practice. We introduced the 61 points of relaxation. We practiced that. We also did a little bit more longer X to X inhalation exhalation. And at the end we did the 3, 4, 6, 9, 12 meditations. That way one can go from shorter ones to longer ones, so that one sees also how much one can take, what is working for oneself and not, and maybe what one should work upon. If one has issue with any of those, then, I mean, not issues, but maybe if it's one of them is hard, maybe it's good actually to focus on those. For some people, shorter ones are good. I mean, 3 minutes is already quite good. One can do it many times a day. It's a very good practice to do. Some people really advocate it. Some teachers advocate many very short meditations during the day. So not necessarily one long ones, but many short ones. So that the meditation feelings or benefits can kind of be diffused during the day. So let's end it with the D mantra. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, and deeds contribute in some way to that happiness and freedom for all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace to all of nature, peace to all living beings, to all humans, to all animals. And finally, peace to our own self, to our own mind. So thank you so much for being here. Hope you it was useful in one way or another. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day, and hope to see you soon. And